What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel, The Brand Lab. It is episode number 1, and I'm here to talk to you about buyer personas. Specifically, how you as a business owner can create one, but even more specifically, what you as a business owner should do before you even start to create your first ideal customer profile. So, without further ado, let's jump in. But before we do, let me tell you a little bit about myself. You might be wondering what makes me qualified to even speak about branding, marketing, buyer personas, all that jazz. Also, apologies for all the construction and the ropes behind me. I've got people and little cleaning things coming down, so you might even see one of them dudes come by. Anyway, 3 fun facts about me. Number 1 is I have a pet cockatiel. She's a rescue. Her name is Pikachu, and she will be making some cameos periodically. She's also the co-founder and chief squeak officer of our creative agency Case. Shameless plug. Fun fact number 2 is I am an avid scuba diver. I love diving with sharks. I've been diving all around the world. The Great Barrier Reef, around Mexico. I've gone diving in California. I've been 80 feet deep in the ocean with bull sharks, and it was the best experience ever. Fun fact number 3 is I have an uncanny obsession with Love is Blind and 90 Day Fiancé. I have watched practically every single season, spin-off of both of those shows. If you are a Love is Blind or 90 Day Fiancé fan, please drop a comment and let me know what you think about the current seasons, because I'm not loving them. There's not enough drama for my liking. All right, now give me a sec. I'm just gonna get up real quick, make sure that this is recording, because I've done this video about 3 times now. And for whatever reason, this freaking microphone, this remote control doesn't seem to be working. Before I get into marketing personas, I will also just say real quick, I am the founder and chief brand officer of Case Creatives. We are an upbeat creative design, branding, and video production agency. We work mostly with health, wellness, and fitness brands, and also some lifestyle brands like Airbnb owners, realtors, so on and so forth. I'm pretty in tune with what goes on around the world of marketing. Before starting the agency, I myself was in corporate marketing for about 10, 15 years. I worked on Wall Street for 7 of those years, healthcare for some. I'm also a certified personal trainer and nutritionist. So yeah, I got some real world experience, all right? And my goal is really to speak less in theory, more in practicality, because I am all about the execution. We can talk about things till the cows come home, but at the end of the day, if we ain't doing, we ain't winning. So let's jump in. Marketing personas, what are they? Number 1, a marketing persona, in a nutshell, is, let's say, an outline of your ideal customer. And we want to have at least 3 to 5 of those. All right, and I'm going to talk about what the various components of a buyer persona includes, whether you're a new business owner, whether you are an existing business owner. There's something that most business owners skip before they jump into crafting their marketing plan and the buyer personas and the strategies. And that is vision mapping. Okay, it sounds soft and schmoozy. It's not. Because if you don't have a clear vision for your business brand for the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years, we're really just swimming in the dark, you know, and we're going to get lost at sea real quick, because there are a lot of competitions that know exactly what they want in terms of their vision and goals. And if you are not reverse engineering your marketing strategies based on where you are trying to go, then you're honestly just wasting your time, likely your money if you're running paid ads. So take about 90 minutes or so to really think about what you want. All right, do you want to create a community? But then the question becomes as well, how do you define community? What type of community do you want? One of the reasons why I created the Brand Lab, this YouTube channel, is not to get leads. It's not to get revenue. I created this channel really to to build gradually an active community of business owners that can engage with my channel, but also share their experiences with other business owners. And that's my number one goal. So for you as the business owner, you should really think about what type of community do you want? Do you want partnerships? If you want partnerships, what type of partnerships are these? Is your goal to develop partnerships with consumers, or is it to develop partnerships with influencers, or is it to build partnerships with other large brands? You know, those are three very distinct personas that would require very distinct strategies. But that's a good thing, because generally when we're thinking about buyer personas, we want to have about 3 to 5 vastly distinct buyer personas, so that when we are doing our marketing, we can make informed decisions based on real data. And what we're going to find real quick, probably within the first 3 months, is that a certain type of buyer persona most likely is resonating better than the other, let's say 2 or 3 that you might have created. And then once you've got those down, you can then start to put more of your effort into the buyer personas that seem to be yielding ROI. But if you have not done vision mapping, and if you don't know your end destination, then you're literally just skirting your wheels and hoping for the best. And that's really not a smart business move to make as a business owner. So that's vision mapping. We love to start with it when I lead branding workshops for brands of all sorts. And when we're doing branding workshops, I'm spending a solid 30 minutes to 45 minutes exclusively on asking very thought-provoking questions that will help create clarity around the overall roadmap. All right, so that's vision mapping out the way. Now, buyer personas, what do they include, right? We're in 2025, man. This is not a world of demographics. It is not sufficient to be targeting based on age, gender, location. You know, these are very basic surface level characteristics that are just not going to yield the return that you're looking for. We want to think deeper than demographics. We want to think about psychographics, right? The personality makeup of our ideal customer. As I always say to our clients of our agency, our goal is to become best friends with our targeted buyer personas. We can only become best friends when we really understand everything about them. What are their pain points? What do they care about the most? What is their income level? Where did they graduate from? Are these people that graduated from Ivy League schools? Or are these people that graduated from the School of Hard Knocks? You know, for example, recently I spoke with or led a branding workshop for a couple of business owners that are creating their Airbnb business, but they also have a side business for real estate investors. So my question for them was, well, what type of investors are these? Are these investors like myself? Like, I own a couple of investment properties out in Ohio, relatively affordable properties. You know, I call myself the everyday investor, right? I'm not sitting on millions of dollars of cash. You know, I deploy my money very strategically. So are these investors like me? Or are these investors that have multi-million dollars at their disposal? You know, again, very vastly different characteristic traits. Likely their psychographic profile is going to be vastly different as well. These are the questions that you want to really be asking yourself. If I am, for example, running a meal prep business, right? Am I catering towards athletes? Am I catering towards individuals who are trying to lose weight? Am I trying to cater to individuals that have different types of dietary needs? Maybe you're vegan, maybe you've got high blood pressure, maybe you've got inflammation. You know, again, these are the questions that are going to yield the demographic that you're trying to target. There's a tool that I love to use. It's created by HubSpot. I regard HubSpot as the go-to expert in all things marketing. It's where I've got many of my own certifications. It's called the Make My Persona tool. and I've linked it below in the description for you guys, forces you to think about the right questions that will yield the profile of your audience. Some of the things that we've just spoken about here, you know, income level, demographic, occupation, walks of life, what publications do they read, where do they hang out, you know. So I would suggest going through the Make My Persona tool and then coming up with, let's say again, 3 to 5 personas that are vastly different from one another that you can then use to kind of paint the roadmap for your business. There's another tool that I like to use, pretty well known, very underrated, and that is Reddit and Quora, right? I like to read forums on what my target audience is searching for, you know, so that I can then unravel real pain points, because too often when we are thinking about the pain points of our audience, we're thinking way too surface level. And the problem with thinking surface level is that our competitors are likely doing the same thing. So surface level pain points could be pricing, an all-in-one solution, a personalized solution, right? If these words sound familiar, it's probably because you are using them in your own marketing messaging. Don't do it, because your messaging is going to fall on deaf ears. I'll give you another example, okay, when it comes to thinking deeper than surface level. Right, we have a client of our agency, it's a fitness app, and he has a pretty cool feature that allows individuals to schedule pickup games, sports pickup games in various locations. So let's say I love hooping, you know, I live in Miami, I can go into the app, punch in the zip code, and it will tell me where I can join pickup games. This app will allow me to do that. So we had to think of pain points that correlated with individuals that might use this type of service. All right, these are some of the pain points that we came out. I'll give you a couple. So the first one was, I'm a digital nomad. I've just moved to a new city. I don't have friends, you know, I don't know anybody. You know, I myself have actually lived that life many times. I'm born and raised from London. I lived in New York City for 7 years, the greatest city in the world. Queen, stand up! Sorry about that. Point is that digital nomads and people that move to new cities, they don't have social circles, so they may use a tool like the one that I mentioned to try to expand their social circle. That is one profile for this product. A second persona could be women who aren't looking to join sketchy groups, right? You, for example, you know, let's say I'm a woman and I actually asked my designer, Lauren, this, you know, and I got her take, and she was the one that mentioned it. It's like, you know, if I'm joining a pickup game, I want to be somewhat intelligent with where I'm going and do some due diligence, and knowing that it's orchestrated through a fitness app that has some safety and security measures is going to make me, as a woman, more likely to join a pickup game in my local zip code with strangers, right? The third pain point was unraveled to me by Reddit. I just put in, I think, sports pickup game apps, or organize sports games with your friends. I put various little prompts into Reddit, and I found out that there were a resounding number of comments that where people were complaining about organizing pickup games through WhatsApp. People were complaining about how unreliable it is, how people kind of come and join those groups, but then they may not show up to the games, and there's no way to really track the point system and all of the things that go into organizing a sports pickup game. So what ended up happening is we use that in our messaging for this fitness app. Delete your WhatsApp sports groups. Instead, use this and it will make your life a lot easier. Obviously, we had better messaging than that, but you get the point. All right, so that is a clear example of how we created buyer personas geared towards this sports pickup game feature. I would encourage you guys to really think about these pain points deeper than surface level for your own brand, so that way when you're coming up with them, you can then also in the back of your mind think about ads, emails, blogs, and things of that nature that would attract the persona that you're trying to get for your brand. All right, and I'm going to do a different episode on aligning content types with your funnel. You know, we won't get into that here. But those are a few ways that you can create your buyer persona. So to recap, using HubSpot's Make My Persona tool, number one. Number two is using Reddit and forums to identify what things people are actually searching for. And then thirdly, I don't think I mentioned this, but speak with your existing clients. You know what? They network, I'm sure, with other business owners and individuals that come from similar walks of life. You know, what are they saying? You know, ask the necessary questions, collect the necessary data, and then you will be able to create a buyer persona that is really geared towards your own brand. All right. If you like this video, it is my first one. So if there's anything that you didn't like about it, please drop the comment below. If you did like it, I'd appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up, turn on your little bell so that you're notified. I'm going to be creating episodes every week. You know, that's what my goal is at the very least. So with that said, I'm Rez, I'm out. Again, welcome to the Brand Lab, and please keep an eye out for upcoming episodes. Peace!